Hello, hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Samantha. This is Winona Reads. Alright, so today I have my 22 books that I want to read in 2022. A lot of these are books that have been on my shelf for a little bit. Some of them are a little bit newer, and then a couple that I recently just got but really want to get to. So let's just get started. Okay, so first up is going to be one that everyone is reading right now. I feel like a lot of people are reading the second book because it just came out, I think, like 2 days ago or last week. And I know I'm a little bit behind, so it's going to be Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. Okay. I'm going to try to do this with toddlers running around and a newborn right next to me. The first one is going to be Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas, and not only do I want to get to this because I have been seeing everybody else pick them up since the second one just came out. I've never read Sarah J. Maas before, so I don't necessarily know that I should be starting with something this thick by her, in the sense that I don't know if I like her writing style, but I feel like because so many people talk about it, I feel like I should at least try it. But obviously that one's gonna take me a little bit. That one, from what I understand, is there's a main girl, her name is Bryce, and one of her friends is murdered, so something about like trying to figure out if the person that got caught is the actual person, and there's like arch rivals and just a whole different atmosphere. It sounds intriguing. Like I always say, I don't like knowing too much before I go in. I just kind of see if I like the writing style and then kind of pick it up and follow through. So hopefully, I mean, it's a New York Times bestseller and everyone on BookTube is talking about the second one, so I'm assuming I'll devour it, hopefully. This one is going to be The Bone Season. This is by Samantha Shannon. I love you. Can you say sorry for breaking my bracelet?
Oh, I love you too.
I love you too, Bubby. Can you say sorry? Say sorry, Mama. Sorry, Mama. You broke my bracelet.
Okay.
Yeah, you did. That's what Barbara said. Grant, can you... Baby, yeah. So the next one is The Bone Season by Samantha Shannon. And this is another author that I've seen a lot of people read, especially I think Becca read the whole series when the final one came out. And seemed to really enjoy it, and I know. This one just says clairvoyance, criminal offenses, underworlds, I guess, vicious punishments, and dreamwalkers in London. So it seems like something I feel like I just really am craving lately, like fantasy, sci-fi. Like I just want to like dive into a different world kind of, so I feel like I'm going to be picking up one of these very shortly, which is why I wanted to put them on the list. The next one that I want to read before the end of the year is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. And I picked this one out of my shelves because I've had it for a while. I haven't gotten to it. And I see so many people relate. I'm sorry if you can't hear me that well. I've already filmed this once and lost most of the footage, so hopefully this one works out because I really don't want to film this again. Don't pinch her toesies. Yeah, do boop. But this one I saw is a similar... What? This one's similar to If We Were Villains by, I think ML Rio was the author. But a lot of the time when I see like, if you like this book, then you're gonna like this one, and I always see these two connected. So it's a similar vibe as far as like dark academia, something to read in the fall, and something... This is my life. And something about, you know, one of their friends is murdered, and Grant Porter, watch out for her feet, please. And I don't know if one of the friends in the group did it or if they're trying to figure it out, but I'm definitely... I'll give you these and you can hand them to me, okay? Can I have the next one, please? Okay, thank you. So the next one is going to be the Lost Diary of M, which I recently just hauled. It includes JFK and someone that he had an affair with, and her ex-husband was like CIA or... yeah, a CIA chief. So it just sounds super interesting, and it seems pretty short and floppy. I might save it for the summer just because it seems like an easier read, but definitely one I want to get to this year just because I'm a big JFK person. The next one I actually just recently picked up, and that is Rules of Civility by Amor Towles. And this one is about like the jazz age. It says 1937. So I think it's just a piece about the golden age in Manhattan, and that's always been a vibe that like I can just fall right into. And I have read The Gentleman in Moscow, which I loved, so I know that I'll like his writing. I hope like the storyline flows well. I honestly have heard people like this one more than they like A Gentleman in Moscow. A lot of critiques that I've heard about the other ones say like it slowed down too much or like not a lot happened, but this one seems to have a lot more I don't know, credibility or a lot more popularity. The next one that I want to get to is one that I've had for honestly quite a while. It's been through 2 moves and I still haven't read it, so I do really want to pick this up. And for some reason I'm just drawn to kind of like the synopsis about it, but this is Valley of the Dolls by Jacqueline Suzanne. And this is just about a group of New York City housewives back in I think the 50s, 60s. And it's just about power, money, celebrity, deadly seduction of prescription pills. And I don't think I considered this in my classics, so it'll definitely be something else on its own. But I love this 50th anniversary edition with the pink pages. And I just want to see what it's about. Because honestly, as far as like classics go, I haven't heard that many people read that or pick it up. So maybe I'll be one of the first. The next one is The Bronze Beast by Roshni Chokshi. Okay, sorry that this is a little chaotic. I am trying my best. I really want to get this done since I've already filmed this one, so let's keep trying. This is not focused on me. There we go. Okay, what was I saying? The Bronze Beast. So I wanted to pick this up because I read the first 2 in the series. This came out and I never got around to it the end of last year. But I don't know if I should reread the first 2 or maybe like look up a summary of the last one to remember where it left off, because it has been a little while. So it really depends. If I need to reread the first 2, then I might wait a little bit. But if I don't have to, then I would definitely pick this up sooner rather than later because I do love her writing. The next one I have is Foundry Side by Robert Jackson Bennett. And this was something that I picked up because of Peru's project, Regan. I don't know if she read both of them. I know that there's 2 and I think we're waiting on a 3rd. She read this one and loved it, and I think someone else did too. So it's definitely interesting. It is about a thief who has the ability to like read objects and see, I think, who has used the object or like the history of the object, I guess. Like if something came from a different place, or like I feel like I read the first couple of pages and it was like she was like climbing a stone wall and like could read the stone of it. So I don't know, it's very intriguing, and again, it's definitely that like sci-fi fantasy kind of vibe that I have been like wanting to get into, so I'm here for it. The next one is one that I actually just picked up this weekend, and it's The City of Mist by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. It's just a group of short stories. I don't really know too much about what it's about. It says a boy decides to become a writer when he discovers that his creative gifts capture the attention of an aloof young beauty who has stolen his heart. That sounds sweet. And since it is so thin, I might pick that up sooner rather than later. Sounds super interesting though. I'm heating up your baba, so don't you fall asleep. Don't you fall asleep. I'm heating up your baba. The next one is one that I have tried to get into I don't even understand why it has taken me so long to try to get into this. I've had the audiobook, tried a couple of chapters, felt like I wasn't really following along. So I do have the first 2 of this, but this is A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. And I have read her work before, which I loved. What was it? It's Vengeful or something, Vicious and Vengeful, and I loved those. So I'm like, why can't I get into it? And I always stop at the same part, which is like only a couple chapters in, so I feel like I need to get over that hump and then I'll be able to like follow along. I always stop at the same part, so I want to push myself to finish that series because I know I like her writing. I just for some reason always stop at that one piece. The next one is Henry James, Daisy Miller. What this is about is a young American woman who becomes friends with an Italian. So she, I think, has an issue with like the cultural differences and like generational differences and like manners and all of that kind of things. I've never read his work before, but it's short enough that I feel like I could get into this real soon. The next one I actually did pick up and I started reading, so I think I might bring it to the cabin this weekend. And that is a memoir called The Beauty in Breaking by Michelle Harper. And I have hauled this before. It was one that I recently got, so it hasn't been on my shelf that long. But it is about an African-American emergency room physician and kind of her growth, not only in her profession but her life. And so I definitely think it would be good for Black History Month, as well as just it's intriguing. And I haven't read a memoir yet this year. It's only February, but still. I picked that up and I did start it. I just haven't gotten very far yet. The next one I have is the 5th season. It's the first in the series by N.K. Jemisin. And this is another one that Regan from Prue's Project read the whole series, and I think she loved it. I haven't started it yet, but it has been on my shelves for at least over a year. And it's definitely that fantasy, like, I'm not 100% sure. Something about like the world, oh, there's nothing on the back. I think it's like personifying like the world and Earth and how like I think it's futuristic, like how we interact with it and kind of the similar like listening to stuff. I could be wrong, but the way that Reagan described it, it just sounded like once you're in it, you're enveloped and you just want to keep reading all of them. So I do need to pick that up soon because I feel like she's always on point with her recommendations. So next one is Victoria Aberard's Realmbreaker. And I did also haul this recently, so it hasn't been on my shelf for that long either. But it is an author that I know. I love her writing. Although I think the other ones that I read were YA, and I think this is an adult series. I think she just finished the second one, or the second one's coming out soon. I don't really know what this is about. I'm assuming it's just magic and war and different lands, and it's something that I want to pick up. Oh, an assassin. Her writing is just something that I feel like once I like read the first sentence, it's one of those that like you're like, okay, one more chapter, one more page. Okay, I'm gonna stop here, and then you never do. The next one, I just thought of, I don't even know if I picked 22 books. Okay, well, excuse me if it's not 22. I'll have to double check at the end. The next one I also recently picked up, as in this past weekend, and it's House of Leaves. And again, this is one that I picked up because I saw Books and Lala. Kayla had read it for, I believe, her book club. And it just sounds like something that I need to get to soon. A lot of people that I've talked to, if they haven't read it, it's one of those that like they find kind of intimidating. So if anyone wants to read it with me, that would be great. But yeah, I want to read that before the year's over. The next one I want to read is Song of Solomon by Toni Morrison. I read The Bluest Eye probably 2 years ago now, and I loved it. I read it in like a weekend, just devoured it, and I haven't actually picked up anything since. But again, I got the idea as far as this has been sitting on my shelf for a little bit, and I know it's an author that I love, and it is Black History Month, so I do want to get into some African-American writers. So this says Milkman Dead was born shortly after a neighborhood eccentric hurled himself off a rooftop in a vain attempt at flight. For the rest of his life, he too will be trying to fly. I don't know, but I know it's going to be good because Toni Morrison is an amazing author. The next one is A Place to Hang the Moon by Kate Albus. And I have only had this one for a little bit too. I want to say like less than a year. This is, I know it takes place during World War II. Go, Emmett, go. Go, go, Emmett, go. That way, that way, that way. Dan, not that way, that way. So yeah, this one is a group of kids who, I want to say they are looking for a way. I think they're looking for a way to stay together. Can I help you? You're so funny. They are looking for a way to stay together. Okay, so they're the death of their grandmother, so they need someone to take care of them. They want to stay in the same place. They find comfort in the village lending library, whose kind librarian, Nora, seems an excellent choice of billet. Billet? Billet? Billet. Yeah, so a World War II story about a family and hope and children is going to pull up my heartstrings, and I hope I love it. The next one is Before the Coffee Gets Cold, Tales from the Cafe. This is by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. I believe that there's another one. I know that there's a blue cover, so I don't know how they link up. I should look that up to make sure this is the first one if it's a series. This is about a cafe where I think you can time travel, but you have to get back before, or like you can go and visit a memory, but you have to get back before your coffee gets cold. But I kind of like skimmed through it when I got it, and I've seen a couple people read it and rate it highly, and this was one that I'm trying to like get out of my comfort zone with as far as writers. I've never read anything by him, but the writing seemed a little bit poetic, so yep. Okay. Kids and dogs and babies. Yeah. The next one is The Dead Wake, The Last Crossing of the Lusitania by Eric Larson. And actually, someone had just commented on one of my other videos. I had spoke about architecture. I think it was the Plaza maybe. And they said that if I liked architecture, then I should read The Devil in the White City, which I did, and I loved it. Actually, his writing reminds me a lot of David Finkel. He was a journalist who wrote about Iraq and like the soldiers, and he followed a group of soldiers who went over and came back. But anyway, it's like super informational, but it doesn't read dry. Like, it's really interesting and intriguing. And this is about World War I, the Lusitania, which I don't know anything about. So I do want to pick this up and give it a try. This has been on my shelves for quite a while. That is also one that has lasted through 2 moves, and I still haven't picked it up, so I do want to get to it. I have 3 books left, and then I will count them all up and make sure it's 22. The next one is Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. And I know they just came out with a book, another book, not like in combination with this one, like not a series, but like another book. And so many people say how heartbreaking this is and how like it's something that'll be 5 stars, but it definitely like makes you cry multiple times. We're not gonna paint right now. You can take some of these. We're not gonna paint right now. I'll be done in just a minute, okay? Can you go put these in the closet or on your dresser? So this follows a group of 4 classmates who live in New York City. They all kind of go their separate ways, but it's, I think, just about like how their lives kind of weave in and out and what happens to them as they grow after school. So I think I'm preparing myself to feel my emotions high when I read that one. And then the next 2 have been on my shelves for a long time, like more than 2 or 3 years. The Paris Architect by Charles Belfour. And this is about 1942 Paris. An architect, Lucien, accepts a commission that will bring him a great deal of money and maybe get him killed. If he's clever enough, he'll avoid any trouble. All he has to do is design a secret hiding place for a wealthy Jewish man. while German officers invade Paris. I have had that on my shelves for a while, and I remember picking it up in Cape Cod. So it was probably more than 3 years ago. And yeah, it was probably like 4 or 5 years ago. I picked it up from the, I think, Yellow Umbrella book store. I think that's the name of it, in Chatham. And meant to get to it on that vacation, and I had already brought so many other books with me that I never got to it, so I do need to pick it up soon. Okay, in a minute. I'm almost done. The last one is The Leavers by Lisa Coe. You want the headband on? Oh, perfect. Good. Yep, here. Good job. Ooh, that's nice. I actually don't know anything about this. I picked it up, like I said, a couple of years ago. It was literally just when I first like started Goodreads and like could see other people's recommendations. It was one of the first ones that I saw like people were loving, and I think it's a little bit more popular lately. Actually, it's like come back around because I think it won an award a couple of years ago. Yeah, 2016. So I feel like it's coming back around as far as readers. It's about Chinese undocumented immigrants. It says one morning his mother goes to a job at the nail salon and never comes home. No one can find any trace of her. So that is something that I haven't read before as far as immigration. I'm intrigued and excited, and I'm sure that's going to be one that pulls at your heartstrings too. And welcome to the chaos of my life. This is why I always used to try and read and film videos when they were away, and it is currently it's winter break right now, and everyone's home and melting because no one took naps. So that is it. Let me count how many there are. I did it. There's actually 22. I'm proud of myself. So yeah, these are all the ones I want to get to. Some of them will be sooner rather than later. I am probably going to pick one of these to bring with me to the cabin this weekend. We are going up to Lake Placid. It's less than like 3 hours from here, so we're going to go up. It's supposed to snow this weekend, so I'm going to do a whole vlog on just the cozy cabin feeling that I have been waiting for. And yeah, cheers. Keep reading, and let me know if any of these are on any of your lists, or if you have already read them, what were your thoughts, and yeah, stay tuned for more. See you soon. Bye.